Hi, it's BK here from BK Gold Detecting, and I'm in my favourite part of the world, Inglewood, Victoria. Now, this location where we're going to be filming part 5 of finding your first gold nugget is one of my favourite areas on the goldfields. Now, this location is the same one where we filmed part 1, and it's also an area where I've had a lot of success in the past. And I've come here for a specific reason, that no matter how many times you come to a spot, you can always dig out a few more pieces. And I actually believe there's still a few clunkers around here. I really do. Now, I've got a few ideas. I've quite heavily detected in the area behind me on the other side of the workings. But further along this way, there's an area of ironstone that's in line with a reef that I believe has got good potential that I haven't really gone over much in the past. Now, I'm going to be using some techniques that I haven't used in the previous videos. I'll go through those in the morning. So for now, sit back and I hope you enjoy part 5 of finding your first gold nugget. Well, it's early morning, beautiful morning. Keen to get an early start. So got the coffee on, we're going to have a good breakfast and then we'll get into it. You know, this is a perfect example of a place close to town that everyone thinks all the gold has gone. Hundreds of people have been through here, but I've seen them. A lot of people walk through, they spend 10 minutes in this immediate area, walking the corridors and, you know, maybe picking up one nugget, but they just keep moving on. I'm different. I come back here time and time again, but I'll spend a weekend and I'll just go over one small area and I just keep pulling gold out of here. Nothing huge for the last few years, a lot of smaller ones, but I'm living in hope that there's still a few big ones around here. Perhaps today, who knows? But we may not even get anything. But this is certainly an area that I just love to come back to. I mentioned last night that I was going to do things a bit different today. I'm listening for very, very quiet targets here. The ground is very, very noisy. So I'm going to be running my machine on quite a low setting to try not to get too much interference from the ironstone. Now, to help me, instead of using the speaker like I normally do, I'm going to wear headphones. Headphones really do help when you're listening for quiet targets. The other thing I'm going to do is use a booster. Now, there's quite a few different boosters on the market. This particular one is a SteelPhase, but you know, I've had this for quite some time and I've never really used it before, but I'm going to give it a bit of a go today because it's supposed to boost the signal a bit. We'll wait and see on that one. I'll give it a go. Okay, we're all ready to go. One thing with the headphones, can't wear my lucky hat. Unfortunately, it doesn't work very well with the headphones, so I need to wear a hat that does work. So I'm right on the line of the reef here. There's a whole series of holes there disappearing into the distance, and down this way is an area that I've heavily detected in the past. Down here, that leads down to a gully. I found a whole heap of gold in there and I've gone over that thoroughly. I'm not even going to bother in there today. But one area that I have neglected over the years is through here. If you're looking down across this way, just past the end of the workings, there's a lot of ironstone and quartz on the ground going into the distance. Now, there is quite a bit of rubbish in there, but I see a lot of potential in this area. A lot of rocks, unfortunately. A lot of ironstone on the ground here. But amongst that ironstone, I reckon I've got a good chance of finding some gold. So I'm going to start off right up against the working here and work my way down the hill. I'll give you a bit of a listen without the headphones. Now that could be ironstone, but I reckon that's worth a dig. Sounds a bit like lead shot to me, but well, that's what it is. Little piece of lead shot. Now I'm going to get a lot of these today. You've got to be persistent. You know, I know some people who will move away from an area because of the lead shot. Lead shot means that people have not detected over this area properly. I'm only a few feet away from the other target, and I've got another one here. Nah, all junk. Another target here, very, very close. Oh, look at that. It just goes to show you a couple of pieces of junk close together amongst this rock here. I could quite easily have walked away. Tiny little piece of gold, nothing significant, but wow, that's a good start. Not very big, but haven't been going for long, and I've only done a few square meters of ground here. Good.
Yeah, Kevin.
Do you want to come down? I just want you to check a target.
Okay, I'm coming.
Hi honey, I just want you to check this one out with your Sadie coil.
That'll be nice.
Over here. Watch out, my detector's on there.
Where is it?
Just down here. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a bit of a target. I think what we'll do, because you've got a smaller coil, it'll pinpoint a bit better, so we'll dig it out with your one. Wow, that's quite deep now. See how you go now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your scoop out, honey. It's just in that loose stuff there. Oh, there you go.
Might be there.
I did pull out 3 pieces of lead just near here.
Okay. No. It's a beautiful one there.
Oh, is it a gold nugget?
Mm.
Oh, wow. Just put it in your scoop and I'll get a picture of it. Wow, you know, I got 3 pieces of lead just near here, but this one just sounded a little bit different. It's it's a very rough looking piece of gold, but wow, look, there's a hole there. This one was quite deep. Just over here is where I found the pieces of lead, and I don't know if you can see just in the distance there, that's the end of the line of workings for the reef. But this whole area here is just strewn with quartz and ironstone everywhere. Now that's interesting. I was about to walk away from this because I thought the sound had gone away. I just thought it was ground noise. But I think the thing is when I'm unplugging my headphone, I'm also unplugging the booster. I've dug a bit deeper now and you can just hear that there. But before I scraped that, without the booster, I couldn't hear that. Huh. Tiny, tiny little piece of gold there. Very small, that was almost on the surface. Beautiful little piece of Inglewood gold. Just got to get on to the big ones. I think it's time for a break. Always make sure you take plenty of breaks when you're detecting, otherwise you don't concentrate. Well, it's time for a bit of a break. Not a bad session for an early morning session. 3 small nuggets. Well, one of them was actually quite a decent one. Very happy with that start. I'm going to continue on through the ironstone after this drink, and hopefully we'll get a bigger one. Now, something very interesting here. I got this faintest signal. So I scraped the ground, unplugged my headphones and the booster so that I could listen to it with the normal speaker, and I heard no sound, and I was almost ready to go away when I put the headphone and the booster back on and the signal came to life a bit. So I've dug down a little bit further and now you can start to hear it with the speaker. Once again, it could be ground noise, but this disappeared when I took the headphones off. You can just hear a bit of a warbling sound there. And this is very, very close to the working there. I found 3 nuggets close to here on another occasion. Probably only about 3 or 4 meters over that way. So we'll give this a bit more of a dig. I'm getting very, very interested in this. I'm going to call Eliza over. Eliza, do you copy?
No, I do.
Do you want to come over? I've got a bit of a target here that sounds interesting.
Okay, I'm heading down there.
Now, this is why I'm interested. There's the workings there, where I found gold straight down. Now here, not only am I getting an interesting sound, but I don't know if you can pick it up. That bright yellow ground in there. In the past, that has been an indicator of gold for me. So Eliza's just on her way over. I'll get her to do some filming and I'll dig a bit further. So honey, if you could just help me with the camera. I'm getting an interesting target down here. I'm not so sure. I'm going to have to open this right up. Look, I don't think this is going to be anything very big, if anything. I've been trying to find it. I'm chasing a signal that keeps disappearing, and I think it's falling inside the cracks in the rock. Yeah, look, it's a piece of gold. Part of me is disappointed because I thought this was going to be something really, really big. But these are the nuggets you'll walk away from. You know, it's not a very big piece of gold, but there's a lot of satisfaction finding this nugget. Because I can tell you now, have a look at that hole down there. There is no way that I would have picked up this nugget without the use of the headphones or the booster. I don't know, it could be one or the other or both. But all I know is that I took the booster and the headphones off so that I could film and you could hear on the speaker, and there was no sound. Even after I scraped the ground, there was no sound. As soon as I put the headphones and the booster back on, I got this little wavy sign. I call it a warbly sign, which usually for me is a good indicator. And I've just kept digging. Even when I got quite deep in the ground, I almost walked away because this nugget worked its way into a crack in the rocks when I disturbed the soil, and I could hardly hear it. The signal almost disappeared again. But anyway, I persisted, and there you go. A very satisfying nugget to find. Beautiful. It's not always the big nuggets which are the most satisfying to find. It's the challenging ones. Just stopping for some lunch. Very, very satisfied with the way this morning's gone. 4 nuggets in the bag, and the last one I was rapt to get. It was only the headphones and probably the booster that allowed me to get it. And the other pleasing thing was that the nugget was right in amongst this same bright yellow rock where I found most of my good nuggets around here. And I'm sure that's what the miners were following. Every area has some sort of an indicator where the gold is, and that bright yellow rock seems to be where I'm getting nuggets here. You know, if you find yourself detecting in an area like this where there's a lot of small nuggets being found close together, it's very, very important that you really overlap the swings on your detector. I've seen so many people who think they've covered all the ground where they move forward the diameter of the coil like this, and they think they've covered all the ground. Sure, they have right on the surface, but the signal from the coil, for most coils, goes down in a cone shape. The deeper you go, the smaller the circle you're drawing. So if you think that, say, the nuggets are 6 inches down, you're going to need to really overlap your coil, like maybe even, you know, 4 swings for one diameter of the coil, maybe even more. This is why you often see areas where people say they've gone over thoroughly and then someone else comes along and pulls out a nugget, because the nugget is in between their swings. Well, the sun's going down after another successful day on the goldfields. Cheers, honey.
Cheers.
I love it out here. So, it's off with a small coil and on with a big coil. I don't use this big coil very much. It's very heavy, but it does go down very deep. So I'm hoping that some ground where I found some big nuggets a few years back might prove quite productive with this bigger coil. No guarantees, because I've been over it very thoroughly down there, but there's always a chance that there's one down there that I've missed that's a bit deeper. Before I get started, I just thought I'd show you this spot here. I found a beautiful nugget here about 4 years ago. It was part of a patch of about an ounce of nuggets that I found very, very close here, between here and the working, just up the top. This one was exceptionally deep. I do have a photograph somewhere. If I find it, I'll link it in here to show you, but it was almost as deep as my pick handle. So I've decided to bring the big coil down here and go back over. Now, I've thoroughly done this ground in the past, so if I pick up anything here, I'm going to be very, very happy. But I've never done it with the big coil, so it'd be interesting to see if that makes any difference. You know, one of my favourite places to detect when I'm looking for bigger nuggets is on the edge of a gully. In the gully was the richest gold. That's where the old timers have come and they've dug it all out and they've made mullock heaps at the side. A lot of people go over those mullock heaps looking for the little specks. What I like to do is to go close to the gully without being quite onto the mullock heaps, looking for those big nuggets that have been working their way down the hill but haven't made it into the gully. The old timers wouldn't have bothered digging out at the side here. It's just not concentrated enough for them. They were looking for the centre of the gully where the richest gold was. Now this is interesting. I've been over this spot before, but I've obviously either missed an obvious one or this big coil was going down a little bit deeper. Beautiful ground here. We're not far from the workings just up here. All the quartz and the ironstone from the reef is working its way towards the gully. Very gravelly, full of quartz. Oh yeah. The only problem with this coil, very, very hard to pinpoint. You end up digging a massive hole. This is starting to sound quite good. I might get Eliza to bring the small coil over so I don't end up digging a mountain of a hole. Okay, it's just over here, honey. Look, I could just dig it out, but with my big coil I'll be making a massive hole. Okay. And if it's just a lead shot, I'll be kicking myself. Oh yeah, definitely. Whoa, still in there. I'm getting quite confident on this one. Now, if it's still in there now, I'm going to be really excited. Oh well, not quite so excited, but it's out. Oh. Oh, well done. First scoop. Oh, if this is junk, I'm going to be spewing. Eliza was way over the other side of the road when I called her back.
It is a gold.
Is it gold?
Decent
You
size.
can see it. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, a real prickly piece too, because we're right next to the... Look at this. We're right next to the mines here. Right next to it. That's beautiful. Quite deep too.
Yeah.
And, well, it's not the clunker I was hoping for with my massive coil, but that's the biggest one we've got yet. I'm very happy with that. What do you think, honey?
Yep. Pretty.
Let's see what we got for our 1.5 day detected Inglewood. Just over 2.9 grams. I'm happy with that. I mean, this area has been gone over so many times, you know. But, you know, I keep coming back here and I keep finding gold. So I probably will keep coming back. Well, we're just packing up. I hope you've enjoyed part 5 of finding your first gold nugget. We've really enjoyed the last 1.5 days of detecting here. Not a lot of gold, but you know, if you can pull out just under 3 grams out of a spot like this, now seriously, this is not a secret spot. This is just outside of Inglewood. Everyone comes here. I bumped into a guy just before. Look, a few things I was happy with. I was really happy with the headphones and the booster. I definitely think there was a couple of nuggets there that we found that I wouldn't have got without those. The big coil, okay, I didn't put out the big one, but I've been over this area quite a lot and I've pulled some good big ones out of here. Did manage to pick up one with the help of Eliza. But anyway, look, hope you enjoyed, and if you did, perhaps consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything, and it just means that you get notified of any future videos that we put out. Bye for now.